Okay guys, there's been a change of plans. I was going to do a vlog today about how I became a professional base jumper and how I started earning a living like this. But as I was going through old footage, searching for the Angel Falls footage, which tells that story, I found something special. I found a project called the Stratosphere. And the Stratosphere is a building in Vegas that I base jumped with a friend of mine, well, two friends of mine, Iiro and Arne. Arne comes from Norway, Iiro comes from Finland. Two very good buddies, we did lots of stuff together, but this particular one is super special. I never actually looked at the footage again. I just looked at the jumps, I never looked at the background, I never looked at any of that. I was again dealing with people from other countries, their footage was in PAL, it was hard for me to watch. Only now, one, do I have the technology. The technology existed for a while, but I just never really cared. And now this vlog is actually kind of cool because it's getting me motivated to go through and look at old projects that I haven't looked at since. So I'm very interested in showing you this footage because it's something special. And it is interesting to look at myself back then. But I'm gonna be wearing headphones because I don't want the sound from the computer to get into the camera while I'm watching it. So let's get started. Okay, so the footage basically starts out with Iiro and myself at the Caesar's Palace looking for a small dog or a big stuffed animal to hide our equipment in so we can get through the security at the Stratosphere.
Thanks, Jim. This is our hideaway bag for our gear later on, and we're just gonna cut this cute poopy open and pull everything out from inside and stuck our chutes in.
Okay, so this is us cutting it open and trying to get the stuffing out so we're actually going to be able to fit our equipment inside.
Actually, it needs to just go all the way down this. Keep going this way, don't come up there. Just keep going down his arm. Okay, that should be good. Now we should be able to fit them in.
It's funny how young we look, my goodness. This was shot back in 2001, so this is 16 years ago.
Okay, now let's put him down on the bed. Wow, that's amazing. Go to the head. Fat part, maybe you should put the thin part in first.
So the idea to put our equipment inside of a stuffed animal was actually Iiro's idea. That was something that he wanted to do. And it was a genius concept at the time. At the time, they didn't have X-ray machines, but they did have metal detectors because people had already been base jumping off of the Stratosphere, so they were already looking for base equipment and base jumpers, and we were a little bit worried that they would make us walk through the metal detectors with the stuffed animal. But as it turns out, they actually, as we walked to the metal detectors, they're like, oh no, that's way too big to go through there. So they actually let us walk around the metal detectors because we were carrying such a big animal, which I thought was pretty funny.
This will be one heavy dog. One heavy misshapen dog.
Well,
that doesn't look too weird.
No, that's good.
Think we should put any more in there? Or he looks,
nah.
He looks good.
okay. You just have to show it back together.
Well, I can try. Let's see
We
if
can
I
do that. We can do that later.
No, let's do it now.
Oh, sweet. This is the stuff when you decided to be a base jumper that you had no idea.
You're gonna sit in the hotel room and sew up the stomach of a doggy.
Iiro and I weren't the best of seamstresses at the time. I still haven't gotten any better at it. I think this is the only time I've ever actually sewn anything.
I wish I had a thimble.
Yeah, see?
Look, you can't see the goddamn thing.
No pain, no gain.
I guess.
This is a Trojan dog.
Trojan dog, yeah, you're right. And then
Sweet.
Son. It looks healthy to me. That takes one. You can't see that at all.
It was really difficult for Iiro to walk naturally with carrying something so heavy. Because it really, 2 base rigs weighs a lot, especially and it's a really awkward shape too. So he did a good job of carrying it like it wasn't weighing 50 pounds.
Oh, big one.
Where'd you win that from?
I bought it for my girlfriend from Season's Palace, yeah.
Oh my god, it's an awful big dog. So you just happy hour drink?
Yeah, just go out to our mission. Oh,
Happy hour.
One of the things that you don't see in this video is our argument about who had to open the door and go out first. Iiro and I were basically arguing. I'm like, you go first. He's like, no, you go first. And Arne was just sitting in the corner. And then finally I'm like, okay, fine, I'll do it. But it was quite the argument because neither of us wanted to go first because we knew security was standing just out in front of the door waiting for us. They'd actually been holding the handle and jiggling it, so we were super concerned. Here we are running for the door. Okay, going through. You know what's funny? This one I wasn't so scared on though. This one was more exciting than scary because it's a super high building and overhung. It was big landing areas, so this one was actually just more like an exciting jump more than a terrifying jump. I wasn't as scared on this one, but it was super fun. I remember really enjoying this one.
here, grab my camera.
we're trained professionals.
Don't worry, it's okay. We're the most experienced jumpers in the world.
We're the most experienced base jumpers in the world? Not quite.
Here, go for it, dude.
How does my bride look?
Clear. You're good. You're good.
I'm good, okay.
Have a good one, man.
Good one. See you guys.
Have a good one, guys.
Thrill ride.
Who packed it?
Me.
Okay.
It was just done, so.
Alright.
The guy just jumped off the ceiling.
Oh my god!
He's kicking his legs while he's falling. Is that something the most experienced jumpers in the world would do? Arne?
I think it's illegal to No, it's parachuting! It's illegal. Tina, it's illegal. It is illegal, I promise you. See?
Yeah, I chucked a double reverse flip after running down slippery glass. At the time, it was pretty good, I guess. It wasn't the cleanest of acrobatic maneuvers, though. It was a little sloppy.
I guarantee it's illegal. You gotta ask him if it's illegal. Should I go up and ask that guy?
It's funny because the people inside are constantly saying, it's illegal, it's illegal. technically, at this time, it was not illegal. We had paid for access, we were landing in a clear parking lot, so we weren't trespassing and we weren't endangering other people's lives. So therefore, we were breaking no laws. As it turns out, I think last year, Vegas finally did pass a law turning base jumping into a felony without getting approval from the building owners. There had been a rash of jumpers jumping broad daylight, like off of hotels and stuff. And I remember this happened in 2001. So it took, almost 15 years of other people doing it too before they finally made a law about it. So you can't blame me. You can't blame me for this. But still, there is a law there now. But at the time I did this, there was no law. 100% legal.
They're gone?
They're gone, but they're busted. Cop the bikes caught them.
Where'd they jump from? Bill, right up here. They just jumped up. They watched right here.
Oh, another thing that a lot of people don't know is that Iiro and I are probably the only two people in the world to jump this building without permission and with permission. We then, like 4 years later, 5 years later, we went back and were hired by CBS to jump off the building for a show called The Courier. So,
Did you guys see him with the packs?
I bumped into him.
Was it Chuck and a big puppy?
No, listen, I bumped into him. I said, "Is that here?" And then he asked him, I went over to the rail, and he got right into it. The guy just slid right down there, and I said, "He said, I did." He turned around, he said, "Don't worry, we're professionals." He's gone. I mean, and one guy was sitting there filming first, too.
Yeah, this guy is.
Yeah, he was sitting there filming.
Do you have, you got pictures of the guy? Let me see.
You got him?
Is that,
Sell it to the new.
It's the two of them on the other side.
is it the blonde hair and the,
They'll pay you good money.
Oh, yeah. That's good. I'm sure that's good for newspapers. That would be awesome.
That's where he did the flip. I just missed.
That's a big
You're in for a big thing on Saturday Night Live or something.
I can't believe they got down that fast.
It's really funny watching the response of the crowd. I never really looked at any of this before. I never really looked at the response of the people watching. I remembered that we had a camera on that deck filming to get the response of just the crowd and people who were like bystanders. And it's quite interesting to watch how they're reacting, how they're responding. They seem excited, they seem like it's not, everyone knew it wasn't a big deal, but it was a kind of, it's interesting to see how they respond. I think it's funny that the woman's like, "Oh, it's illegal," and the kid's all, "Shut up." And you can tell they all would love to give it a go themselves. So it really is, I don't know, it's interesting. There is something to be said about going back and looking at your past in a completely new way, with new vision, new eyes. As you get older, your vision changes on things. Like now I have no interest in doing things that, are in gray area or break the law. And even at that time, I really wasn't that into breaking the law. I was much more interested in, I was testing. I guess that's what I could say. I was testing. I wanted to see what the law was. I wanted to see what you could and could not do. I was kind of pushing that gray area, But I always made absolutely certain that I wasn't breaking laws. I'd find out what they were. Trespassing, I'd pay to be there, so I'd make sure not to trespass. Reckless endangerment, I'd ensure that our landing areas were clear, and if there were people around, I'd make sure that there were people in the area that we hire to control crowd to move them out of the way. So a big part of my early jumping was trying my best to do it in a legal way. I tried. There were a couple times, where I had to do a little bit of something here and there. But in this particular instance, this was 100% legal, and they saw our license plates, they knew who we were, but there was no law against what we did, so they couldn't do anything really. But like I said, now that's changed, and now there are laws, and I think it's a felony. Like it's a big deal. So you do not want to jump in Vegas without permission anymore. But again, this was in 2001. okay? That law didn't come into effect until 2015, and there were a rash of people who were dressed in wedding dresses and jumping off of hotels in broad daylight. And I mean, I have to admit, yes, I did do similar things earlier in the career, but you cannot blame me for the law. I was part of it, but not the whole thing. There's a lot of base jumpers. Base jumpers in general, just part of it. Anyways, I hope you liked it. Have a good one.